Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be answering questions that my followers on Instagram asked me. Before I answer some questions, I want to introduce myself. My name is Heavenly. I am a freelance artist. I do digital artwork, traditional artwork, and painting. I'm going to be showing you guys a time lapse of my digital artwork called Lovely Eyes, and I'm going to be answering your questions. So let's get into it. So the first question is, what gravitates you to the Chicano culture and its art style the most? I would say my background. I am Mexican American, Chicana, and Native American, and I loved old school cars because of my dad. He had a couple different Caprices when I was growing up, and I was born and raised in San Jose for part of my childhood. And once I moved to the Central Valley, I felt like a piece of me was missing. I was no longer in my hometown anymore, and but that's when I started drawing more and more. And so once I got into high school, I really wanted to find a defined style, and I started looking into different interests and things that I liked. So once I discovered Chicano artwork, that's when I fell in love with it, and that's when I started making my own artwork and perfecting my craft. And yeah, now my name is called Heavenly Chicana. So I hope that answers that question. But now let's move on to the next one. So the second question is, do you listen to music while doing your art? If so, does it influence how your pieces look? Yes and no. Yes, I do listen to music while I do my art. I have a mixed playlist. I love oldies, indie, alternative music, and instrumentals. Just different types of music all around. And then sometimes I like to draw in silence just so I can focus on the artwork itself and not have to worry about finding a song. Also, I like to watch TV shows and movies while drawing. Sometimes when I do just watch movies and TV shows, I feel a little guilty because I'm not doing anything, so I have to draw while watching it. Yes, most definitely, music does influence how my pieces turn out. For example, my artwork called I Only Have Eyes for You was partly inspired by the song I Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos. Also, it depends on the theme of the artwork. So, let's say I'm doing a dreamy artwork, I would listen to dreamy songs. If I was doing a romantic artwork, I would listen to romantic songs. So, the inspiration helps me better my artwork. So, the third question is, how old were you when you started drawing? I've been drawing ever since I was a little girl. I don't remember the age, but I know it started in kindergarten. And then once I was in third grade, we had a art teacher come to our class. I think like once a month, once a week, something like that. I don't remember. But she's the one who taught us how to paint, how to do artwork, the basics, and that's when I started falling in love with it and trying to improve myself. Even at that young age, that's when I knew I loved it. So then when I moved to the Central Valley, that's when I started taking my artwork more seriously. I started drawing a lot more, and then my parents were very encouraging with me. They told me that I had something, so I just kept going with it, and then here I am today, still doing it. The fourth question is, what are some goals for the future? I want to do more commissions for people. If you want a custom artwork from me, email me at heavenlycommissions@gmail.com for inquiries. Also, I want to work with big brands such as Levi's, Ben Davis, Lowrider Magazine, and other brands as well. I just would love my artwork on t-shirts and stuff like that and sold in stores. And also I'd love my artwork on makeup products, so I would love to collaborate with brands who are in the cosmetic business. I also want to vend at more events. I've only done 3 so far, so I would love to build my experience more. Also, I would love to be in more art shows. I've only done 3 so far, so I would really love to be in more. And also building up my brand. That's why I want to do more community events to let people know about my art and my product. The fifth question is, what is your personal favorite piece you created? I have a lot, but I don't know if I can just pick one. So I'll say my top five. So the first one is Sincere Dreamers. I'm so proud of this artwork because it's the most detailed I've ever done. It also took me over 87 hours to do, and I'm just so proud of it, the way it came out. I just love how dreamy it is and everything like that. The second would be I Only Have Eyes for You. It came from the heart and it shocked me when it did numbers on Instagram because it started as prints and Valentine's Day cards and it just blew up on Instagram and never had that happen before. So I was just so surprised and I just love that artwork so much. Next is Lovely Eyes. I drew this when I was 16, still trying to figure out my style, and it's one of my most popular prints. I just love how it came out. Next is Dreaming Casually. This was one of my early works too, before Lovely Eyes, and that's when I started getting more recognized with my style. That one came from the imagination. I just love how dreamy it looks. Last is my artwork called Dreamer. I just love how the stars came out. They look like they're glowing, and then she's holding a star with the moon. I love stars and moons, and then blue is my favorite color. So I just love how everything came out. Honorable mention is my artwork called Take a Chance. I use that one on a lot of my products, and it's great for products because it's black and white. I also love the sketchy look to it. As you can see, I have a lot of artwork and I just can't choose one. Question 6. How did you get your artwork so popular? Me personally, I can't make my own artwork popular, it's the audience who does. I would say it takes time to build your audience because I started posting my artwork on Instagram in 2017 and barely now I'm getting more notice. Building your skills and portfolio takes time. Also, the way you present your artwork matters. For example, I posted my artwork Endurance last year, 2024, and it didn't get much attention. It wasn't until I posted it a different way this year in 2025 and it blew up on Instagram and TikTok. Here's the video. My advice is if your artwork doesn't get much attention the first time you post it, it doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that maybe you need to post it in a different way. Another thing is posting your artwork consistently. Question 7. How does your faith push you in your art? I am a firm believer in Jesus Christ, and I wouldn't be who I am today without him. I believe he gave me this passion for a reason, so I don't want it to go to waste. Sometimes I get burnt out and feel like giving up, but I just keep my faith in him that he will bring me out of my struggles and just strive to make my dreams come true. Prayer, hope, and trust in God keeps me grounded and keeps me afloat. If you're interested in learning more about God, I will link the Bible app below that helps me build my journey with Him. Question 8. What is your biggest tip/strategy for getting out of creator's block? Believing in yourself again is a major factor. Believing that you can create again and create something better than before. Also, looking at your old sketches that you did when you were bored, or maybe when you did have that strike of idea but you just never completed. That's what I personally do when I don't have any more ideas. I can just look back at my old stuff that I did when I was in high school or when I was just bored, and I just go off of that. Also, maybe changing up your routine instead of looking at TikToks or Instagram all day. Maybe just get out your sketchbook and start doing some practice sketches. Why am I talking about me though? Anyways, that's my advice. Last question. What is your advice to beginner Chicano artists like me? I would say keep practicing your craft, tap into your emotions to make the artwork mean something to you, watch tutorials for the basic fundamentals. There are lots of YouTube tutorials, TikToks. If you're in school, take those art classes. Also, reference pictures definitely help because I use a lot of my own reference pictures of myself for my artworks. What's going to make you stand out from other artists is your originality. When I look at other artists' work, I can almost always tell who's it by. That's why having your own style is so important. with building your portfolio and building your audience. Also exploring different styles and different techniques, because you don't want to just get stuck in one specific style because it gets boring after a while. You can have 1,000 styles, but at the end of the day, you can still tell who is it by because of your likeness in it. So yes, just keep creating, keep promoting, and don't give up. So that was the last question. You guys gave me some really good questions. I really enjoyed answering them. I hope you guys found some inspiration and advice, and I hope it helps you out. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Comment down below what would you like to see next. And if you have any other questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them below. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. This is very new for me, so I'm just happy to grow this channel. And I frequently post on my Instagram and TikTok, so if you want to see more art related content, you can go check out my socials. Everything's going to be linked below. See you guys in the next video. Bye!